Chapter 41, For You, I Can Be the Enemy of the World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Senior, my Schwanger said she doesn't want to go with you. Lin Yuan's tone was very calm, but as soon as he said it, everyone in the Luo family mansion was stunned. My uncle actually dared to challenge the Holy Lord of a holy land for the sake of the eldest lady? Holy Master Ziwei was slightly stunned. She also didn't expect that the young man in front of her would dare to disobey her will. It has been 300 years since she succeeded as the Holy Lord of Ziwei Holy Land. For 300 years, no one dared to challenge her, let alone challenge her. There were only a few people who dared to speak loudly in front of her. This guy is interesting. Holy Lord Ziwei narrowed his eyes slightly and casually glanced in the direction of Feng Zhu, and a scolding sound immediately came from the air. Bold! How dare you contradict the Holy Lord? That the voice was cold and angry, and before he finished speaking, two figures fell from the sky. One of the figures rushed towards Lin Yuan like a shooting star chasing the moon. Lin Yuan had no time to react. He was thrown backwards by an irresistible force and fell heavily to the ground. After he got up, he realized that the person who took action was a girl who looked about the same age as Luo Xingxuang. Husband! Luo Xingxuang immediately exclaimed, and at the same time, her eyes when she looked at Holy Lord Ziwei were filled with anger. I'm fine. Lin Yuan struggled to get up and spat out a mouthful of blood. He could feel that the girl who took action didn't really make any move towards him. She didn't even make a move, she just exploded with vitality and knocked him away. In that moment, Lin Yuan suffered serious internal injuries. So strong. What kind of cultivation is this girl? Linghai? Or Taoist Palace? Lin Yuan's mind was spinning, and he could feel the huge gap between himself and the other party. However, for Luo Xingxuang's 9-star opportunity, he decided to give it a try. So what if you are the Holy Land? Could it be that the strong men of the Holy Land can ignore the wishes of others and forcefully tear us apart? Lin Yuan asked loudly, and at the same time, he directly performed the 3 mysterious transformations of divine fire, pouring vitality into the scabbard of his sword crazily. The moment the sword screamed from the scabbard, Lin Yuan took action without any reservation. With a shocking sword strike, its power exploded to the extreme with the dual blessing of the 3 mysterious transformations of divine fire and the sword-drawing technique. The target of his attack was not the girl who knocked him away, but Holy Lord Ziwei, who claimed to be the Lord of Ziwei Holy Land. If you want to bet, then just bet bigger. Lin Yuan knew that the girl's strength far exceeded his own, and the strength of Holy Lord Ziwei was even more unfathomable, but even so, he still wanted to let Ziwei Holy Land see his determination. Bold! Holy Lord Ziwei stood motionless, but the face of the girl beside him changed drastically. After giving a cold scolding, she suddenly disappeared from the spot, stopped in front of Lin Yuan out of thin air, and faced Lin Yuan's shocking sword attack with all his strength. Clang, boom. The two sounds came almost at the same time. The previous sound was the clanging sound of the girl's green onion-like catkins colliding with Lin Yuan's sword. The last sound was the sound of Lin Yuan's body flying backwards and crashing through the wall of the Luo family mansion. A mere ant dares to disrespect the master. The girl snorted expressionlessly and walked slowly in the direction of Lin Yuan, her martial arts cultivation at the Dao Palace realm fully revealed. Stop! Luo Xingxuang finally couldn't stand it anymore. Although she was very afraid of Holy Lord Ziwei beside her, she would never watch the girl attack Lin Yuan. For a while, Luo Xingxuang didn't know where she got the strength to break free from the hand held by Holy Lord Ziwei. She reached her peak speed and resolutely stood between the two of them before the girl could make a move on Lin Yuan. Junior sister, please get out of the way. The girl paused slightly and looked up at Luo Xingxuang. She is a bit smaller than Luo Xingxuang, but her martial arts cultivation at the Dao Palace level makes her proud of countless warriors. I'm not your junior sister, nor am I some Ziwei saint. Luo Xingxuang interrupted the other party's words loudly. Seeing Lin Yuan, who was seriously injured and almost unconscious next to her, her peach blossom eyes were filled with tears and she hissed, I only know that I am my husband's woman. When my martial arts skills disappeared mysteriously and I was criticized by the whole world, it was my husband who did not dislike me. It was he who took me out of the trough, not your Ziwei holy land. If you want to kill him, you will have to step over my body. Luo Xingxuang was almost hoarse. 2 lines of clear tears slowly flowed from the corners of her eyes. Her pair of peach blossom eyes that should have been soft and beautiful were now full of perseverance and awe-inspiring, just like that day when Luo Xingxuang misunderstood that Lin Yuan was here to break off the engagement. Such a fierce reaction made the girl slightly stunned. It was naturally impossible for her to take action against Luo Xingxuang. The holy body of Ziwei appeared once every few hundred years, and it was related to the inheritance of the entire Ziwei holy land. She could not and did not dare to take action against Luo Xingxuang. Master. The girl turned to look at Holy Lord Ziwei. Qi Yan, please step back first. There was still no reaction on the face of Holy Master Ziwei, and he just ordered the girl to step away for now. She felt that Lin Yuan and Luo Xingxuang seemed to have some misunderstanding about Ziwei Holy Land. Then, she planned to make an exception and explain a few words herself, but just when she was about to speak, Lin Yuan, who was lying on the ground and breathing heavily, grabbed the sword beside him with trembling hands, used the scabbard as support, and stood up with difficulty. Although the girl Qi Yan just made a casual blow, her martial arts cultivation in the Dao Palace realm, even if it was just a casual strike without using her vitality, how could Lin Yuan in the Qi gathering realm be able to resist it? If Lin Yuan hadn't been in a state of the 3 mysterious transformations of divine fire at that time, the power of the shocking sword had exploded to the extreme, and Qi Yan had not used his vitality. I am afraid he would have died at this time. Despite this, Lin Yuan still felt as if his meridians were being burned by fire. If he moved even slightly, he would feel burning pain all over his body. He stood up unsteadily, and his first move was to gently hold Luo Xingxuang's shoulders, and then took a step forward to block her behind him. Holy Lord Ziwei just glanced at Lin Yuan and saw that he was at the end of his strength. He was able to stand up at this time only with the support of his will, but Lin Yuan's action of blocking Luo Xingxuang behind her made her slightly startled. If you don't heal your wounds, you will die. Holy Lord Ziwei said softly. So what? As long as I live, no one can force Xuan'er to do something she doesn't want to do. Lin Yuan's voice was a little weak, but even so, he did not give in at all, and looked at Holy Lord Ziwei without fear. Holy Master Ziwei glanced at Lin Yuan. Moment, Lin Yuan felt as if he was being crushed by Mount Tai. Large spider web-like cracks instantly appeared on the bluestone floor under his feet, and his feet sank 3 inches deep into the ground. However, Lin Yuan did not give in. He endured the pressure and reached out to grab the hilt of his sword. A shocking sword energy burst out from his whole body. This is Chapter 42, Sudden Enlightenment of Sword Intent, the Holy Lord Helps. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Everyone was shocked. Although they were not at the center of the pressure, they could feel the pressure on their heads suddenly increase, making them almost want to kneel on the ground. But even in this situation, Lin Yuan dared to draw his sword. Moreover, the shocking sword energy that appeared on Lin Yuan actually formed a posture of competing with the pressure of the Purple Star Saint. At this time, Lin Yuan seemed to have turned into a sword, with a chilling edge all over his body. The Purple Star Saint was a little surprised when she saw this. Others didn't know what was going on, but she could see at a glance what happened to Lin Yuan. That shocking sword energy was the prototype of the sword intent. Not only was Lin Yuan not crushed by his own pressure, but under the heavy pressure, he suddenly realized the true sword intent. The sword intent is divided into 9 grades, and each level of enlightenment can bring a nearly reborn change to the warrior who uses the sword. Although Lin Yuan's enlightenment is only the 1st grade sword intent, and he has not yet fully entered the door, however, there are countless warriors who specialize in swordsmanship, but those who can truly comprehend the sword intent are absolutely rare. In particular, most warriors comprehend the sword intent only after they reach the Tongxian realm and have a deep understanding of martial arts. Lin Yuan is only at the Juqi realm now. If he can truly comprehend the 1st grade sword intent, it means that his future prospects are absolutely limitless. Forget it. Considering his sincerity towards Luo Xingxuang, I will help him. Ziwei's Saint Lord sighed lightly and said to Qi Yan and another female disciple beside him, use Yuan Qi to block the surroundings. Master. Qi Yan and another female disciple were shocked and looked at Ziwei's Saint Lord in disbelief. Although they were shocked in their hearts, they did not dare to hesitate. For a moment, the Yuan Qi of the two Dao Palace realm warriors burst out, instantly forming a powerful Yuan Qi barrier, blocking a small area around Lin Yuan. Then, the pressure from the Purple Star Saint Lord on Lin Yuan suddenly changed. The pressure, which was originally like a mountain pressing down on one's head, became even more awe-inspiring and sacred. The increased pressure made Lin Yuan pale, and he vomited a large mouthful of blood uncontrollably. However, Qi Yan and another female disciple looked at Lin Yuan with envy and surprise. Others did not know the intention of the Purple Star Saint Lord, but as his true disciples, they knew very well what their master had done. She was releasing the holy will of the saint. Realm powerhouse to guide Lin Yuan to comprehend the sword will faster. The holy will is the trump card of the saint realm powerhouse. Every ray of the holy will is precious to a saint realm powerhouse. Even for them, their master had never been so extravagant to use the holy will to guide their own cultivation, and now, the Purple Star Saint Lord actually used the holy will for an unknown young man from the East Wilderness without hesitation to help him complete his enlightenment. If this matter spread to the central region, I'm afraid that the saints and saints of the major holy places would be greedy. Even the saints and saints of the major holy places only have the opportunity to watch from afar and enjoy a little bit of blessing when the saints in the holy realm comprehend the holy will. Lin Yuan actually had the opportunity to enjoy the guidance of a saint in the holy realm. Lin Yuan naturally didn't know what others thought. After spitting out a mouthful of blood, his whole consciousness became blurred. The increased pressure made him feel that his body was about to be squeezed into meat paste by this pressure. When he gradually regained consciousness, the world in front of him had changed. Around him, it was no longer the Luo family mansion, but a vast and desolate world with only sword tombs. This is... Lin Yuan was a little confused. Just when he was wondering, a beautiful figure in lavender palace clothes appeared quietly not far away. The figure stood upside down with a 3-foot green sword. Lin Yuan looked at the other party and recognized her as the Purple Star Saint. He was about to speak, but the other party said nothing and rushed towards him with a sword. Helplessly, Lin Yuan could only draw his sword and fight back. However, the two sides fought for only a moment, and Lin Yuan was knocked away by a sword and flew backwards dozens of meters. As soon as Lin Yuan stood up, the figure holding the sword appeared in front of him again. Helplessly, he could only hastily raise his sword to fight back. The result was no surprise. Lin Yuan was knocked away again. Next, Lin Yuan didn't know how much time had passed. Everything seemed to repeat itself in the cycle of being knocked away, standing up, counterattacking, and then being knocked away again. Finally, Lin Yuan couldn't remember how many thousands or tens of thousands of times he was knocked away, and he finally blocked the other party's sword head-on. However, before he could be complacent, the woman's second sword knocked him away mercilessly. Come again. Lin Yuan was not depressed after he stood up. He had already guessed something. In this world of swords, no matter how many times he was knocked away or how many swords he swung, his body would not be affected at all. If that was the case, he immediately made up his mind to defeat the phantom of the Purple Star Saint. It was unknown how long it took. At the beginning, Lin Yuan could only barely block one sword of the Purple Star Saint. Later, he was gradually able to block 2 swords, 3 swords, 10 swords, 100 swords. After being knocked away again, Lin Yuan had a smile on his face, because, just before he was knocked away, the sword in his hand finally touched a corner of the clothes of the Purple Star Saint. Although this does not mean anything, it gives Lin Yuan hope. From the moment his consciousness entered this world of swords, the shadow of the Purple Star Saint was almost invincible to Lin Yuan, let alone victory. Until just now, he had never escaped the passive situation of being beaten. This made Lin Yuan almost doubtful. However, the sword just now gave Lin Yuan hope, allowing him to see a glimmer of possibility that he could defeat the Purple Star Saint. And Lin Yuan also discovered, his hope of defeating the Purple Star Saint lies in whether he can truly achieve the unity of man and sword. In the sword just now, he almost felt that his whole body was about to merge with the sword. This is how he made a contribution in one fell swoop and cut off a corner of the Purple Star Saint's clothes. In the following battle, Lin Yuan was always trying to integrate his thoughts with the 3-foot-long sword in his hand. At this time, in the Luo family mansion, the shocking sword energy on Lin Yuan's body began to become more and more fierce and sharp. Luo Xingxuang, who was beside him, also felt something was wrong. This sword energy was too sharp. Standing next to Lin Yuan, she felt a pain as if her whole body was cut by a knife, but even so, Luo Xingxuang's eyes were still very firm. She stretched out her little hand without hesitation and grasped Lin Yuan. When her little hand grasped Lin Yuan, in the world of swords, Lin Yuan suddenly felt a shock all over his body. Chapter 43 Sudden Enlightenment of the Third Rank Sword Intention. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. At this time, Lin Yuan had fought with the Phantom of the Purple Star Saint Lord in the Sword World for more than 100 rounds. Although he was able to remain undefeated, the Phantom of the Purple Star Saint Lord in front of him was ridiculously powerful. As long as Lin Yuan was distracted, he might be at risk of being knocked away again at any time. After Lin Yuan was shocked, he was stunned for a moment. In this moment of gap, the Phantom of the Purple Star Saint Lord had already rushed forward, and it seemed that he was going to hit Lin Yuan with another sword, but this time, Lin Yuan was unprecedentedly calm. The sword that was close at hand gradually slowed down in his eyes. He felt that at this moment, he seemed to have completely merged with the sword in his hand, as if, at this moment, he was the sword in his hand, the indestructible and sharp edge that cut off everything. Facing the attack of the Purple Star Saint Lord's Phantom, Lin Yuan almost instinctively pushed the sword in his hand forward lightly. The next second, the sword of the Purple Star Saint was blocked by him. Not only that, her body swayed slightly and she stepped back half a step. Win. Lin Yuan was overjoyed. He didn't know how many times he had been knocked out by the opponent. This time, he finally defeated the opponent in a head-on confrontation. In the real world, the Purple Star Saint was slightly startled, and a slightly surprised look flashed in her eyes. From the time she used the Holy Will to help Lin Yuan comprehend the Sword Will, it has only been less than a cup of tea. Unexpectedly, Lin Yuan successfully comprehended the first-grade Sword Will so quickly. The Purple Star Saint was about to restrain the Holy Will, however, at this moment, in the world of swords, Lin Yuan did not mean to stop there. Seeing that the shadow of the Purple Star Saint in front of him was about to disappear, he gritted his teeth, took the initiative to attack, and slashed at the Purple Star Saint with a sword. The Purple Star Saint was slightly stunned. This guy is going to continue? Most people will stop after comprehending the sword intent and the first-grade sword intent, so as not to bite off more than they can chew and cause the risk of going astray. But Lin Yuan actually wanted to go one step further and comprehend the second-grade sword intent in one go with the guidance of his own holy will. Interesting. The shadow of the Purple Star Saint smiled slightly, and her momentum suddenly increased. Lin Yuan, who had defeated her once, was swept away 100 meters by her sword. Lin Yuan was swept away by a sword, but a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. His guess was indeed correct. He was able to enter this world of swords and comprehend the sword intent because the Purple Star Saint helped him. In this case, then he would naturally not give up. Although Lin Yuan did not know what the other party had done, a Saint Realm expert personally served as a sparring partner for him. Such a rare opportunity, he would naturally squeeze his potential to the limit. In the real world, another quarter of an hour passed. The astonishing sword energy on Lin Yuan's body soared again, and it was so sharp that the people watching him almost felt that they were not looking at a person, but a sword with unparalleled sharpness. Seeing Lin Yuan's breakthrough again in comprehending the second-grade sword intent, the Purple Star Saint thought that this time, this little guy should be ready to stop. Just as he was about to restrain his holy intention, he frowned. So, Lin Yuan in the sword world once again provoked. After comprehending the second-grade sword intent, he seemed to be tireless and took the initiative to fight again. Originally, the Purple Star Saint just planned to help Lin Yuan because of his deep affection for Luo Xingxuang, but now, seeing that Lin Yuan's character was so firm and his ability to comprehend was far beyond her imagination, after thinking for a while, she decided to help Lin Yuan again. The holy intention that had been gradually restrained was revealed again. Seeing this, the two female disciples of the Purple Star Holy Land were even more shocked. An hour later, Lin Yuan in the sword world, with his sword against the throat of the Purple Star Saint Lord's Phantom, was immobilized by an irresistible force and could not move forward. After the third round of fighting began, Lin Yuan found that the rules of the sword world had changed. In the previous two times, he felt no pain whether he was injured or knocked away. But this time, after the Purple Star Saint Lord's phantom strength surged again, Lin Yuan found that if he was injured again in the sword world, he would feel the same pain as in the real world. This made the originally smooth process much more difficult. Several times, Lin Yuan almost lost consciousness due to the serious injuries, but he gritted his teeth and persevered every time. When the tip of his sword was against the throat of the Purple Star Saint Lord, there was no intact skin on Lin Yuan's body. His whole body was covered with deep wounds that could be seen to the bone. Even his entire left arm drooped down, as if it had been cut off by the roots. Even so, Lin Yuan still delivered his sword without hesitation, with an indomitable momentum, successfully breaking through himself again, and his sword will advanced all the way, stepping into the realm of the third-grade sword will. Enough. The shadow of the Purple Star Saint Lord spoke for the first time in the sword world. The limit of your body now is the third-grade sword will. Forcing yourself to comprehend the fourth-grade sword will do you no good. After that, the sword world in front of Lin Yuan began to collapse rapidly. The Purple Star Saint Lord originally planned to help Lin Yuan a little for the sake of her future apprentice, but Lin Yuan's character and talent made her look a little sideways, so she changed her mind and kept releasing the Saint Will to help Lin Yuan comprehend the third-grade sword will. Lin Yuan's consciousness began to gradually regain clarity, and after just a few seconds, his consciousness returned to reality. Open your eyes. Lin Yuan found Luo Xingxuang standing beside him, holding his hand tightly with her small hand. Her face was pale, and in the process of comprehending the third-grade sword intent, the shocking sword energy emanating from her body was gradually rising. Luo Xingxuang had not yet broken through the qi condensation realm, and the impact of the sword energy had almost made her whole body shaky, but even so, she still gritted her teeth and persisted, always staying by his side. Seeing that he had opened his eyes, Luo Xingxuang's peach blossom eyes showed a gentle smile, and her red lips slightly opened, as if she wanted to say something, but Lin Yuan comprehended the third-grade sword intent, and the sword energy emanating from his body was not something that ordinary people could bear. At this time, Luo Xingxuang almost didn't even have the strength to speak. She was able to hold on until now, just like Lin Yuan gritted his teeth and climbed up just now, completely relying on a will to forcefully support her. Lin Yuan felt warm in his heart and hugged her body tightly. When their eyes met, Luo Xingxuang's eyes were full of attachment and joy. She had been holding Lin Yuan's hand, so she naturally knew what had happened to Lin Yuan. In Luo Xingxuang's eyes, her husband's strength had soared again, which was more worthy of celebration than her returning to the 9th level of foundation building overnight. The two of them hugged each other for half a cup of tea, and a light cough interrupted this moment of tenderness. Ahem. Chapter 44 The Holy Lord gave me the Ziwei token. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The person who spoke was the Purple Star Saint. Lin Yuan's old face flushed when he saw this, and Luo Xingxuang buried her head deeply in his arms, not daring to raise her head. Thank you for your help, Senior. Lin Yuan looked at the Purple Star Saint and thanked him sincerely. I had a misunderstanding before, thinking that you were going to harm Schwanger, so I offended you. I hope you will forgive me. He knew that he could comprehend the third-grade sword intent so quickly, thanks to the Purple Star Saint's guidance. If it weren't for the sword world, the other party would have fought with him again and again. Even if he was talented, he would never have been able to comprehend the third-grade sword intent so quickly. Still sensible. The Purple Star Saint nodded lightly, and her holy intent gradually became restrained, and the two female disciples of the Purple Star Holy Land also withdrew their vitality barriers. I see that you are also a reasonable person, so I will speak directly. The Purple Star Saint Lord looked at Lin Yuan and said in a calm voice, for Luo Xingxuang, the Purple Star Holy Land is her best choice. The Purple Star Saint body is extremely special and has extremely high requirements for spiritual energy. The Eastern Wilderness lacks spiritual energy and cannot meet the pure spiritual energy she needs for cultivation. Therefore, since entering the Qi gathering realm, her cultivation will gradually dissipate every time she breaks through a major realm. Only after the Purple Star Saint body purifies her vitality will it reopen the door to martial arts. Only in the central region with pure spiritual energy can her martial arts progress grow smoothly. Otherwise, every breakthrough will delay her cultivation time for several years or even decades. So that's it. Lin Yuan was secretly shocked when he heard this. He finally understood the reason why Luo Xingxuang's cultivation disappeared strangely that year, and why Luo Xingxuang returned to the 9th level of foundation building overnight. He looked at Luo Xingxuang, who was nestled in his arms, and whispered, "Xuanger, follow the senior to the central region." "But I can't bear to leave." Luo Xingxuang naturally heard the words of the Purple Star Saint, but when she thought about leaving Lin Yuan and going to the central region a million miles away, she felt very reluctant and didn't want to be separated from Lin Yuan at all. "Be good, be obedient." Lin Yuan gently rubbed Luo Xingxuang's face and whispered in her ear, "Don't worry, follow the senior to the Purple Star Holy Land to practice. Believe me, I will go to the central region to find you in a short time." Hearing Lin Yuan's words, Luo Xingxuang's beautiful eyes were filled with moisture again, but her trust in Lin Yuan made her swallow back what she wanted to say. As tears rolled down, she forced a strong smile. "Husband, I'll wait for you." "Yes." Lin Yuan nodded, and the two kissed for a while before he let go of Luo Xingxuang and looked in the direction of the Purple Star Saint. "Go." Luo Xingxuang walked towards the Purple Star Saint reluctantly. After arriving beside him, she turned around, her eyes still on Lin Yuan. When she turned around, Luo Xingxuang's eyes swept over Qi Yan, who had just attacked Lin Yuan, with some undisguised hatred in her eyes. "In this case, we will leave." A touch of satisfaction flashed in the eyes of the Purple Star Saint. Although some things happened that surprised her a little, she succeeded in bringing back the Purple Star Saint body. She was about to tear the void and leave, but Luo Xingxuang gently pulled the sleeve of the Purple Star Saint with her hand. "Master." "What's the matter?" But when the Purple Star Saint heard Luo Xingxuang call her master, she was a little surprised and looked at her curiously and asked. "We are going to the central region soon. After we get there, my husband and I won't be able to see each other for a long time." "So?" Luo Xingxuang's voice became smaller and smaller. She knew what kind of existence she was negotiating with. However, thinking that she would not be able to accompany Lin Yuan in the future, she still mustered up the courage to say, "So. Can you leave some things for my husband on behalf of my disciple, so that when my husband misses me in the future, he can have more thoughts?" Hearing Luo Xingxuang's words, the Purple Star Saint was slightly startled. How could she not hear what Luo Xingxuang meant? This girl, before she officially became his disciple, actually started to think about asking for benefits for Lin Yuan. "Qi Yan, Qing Lu, take her back to the Phoenix Chariot first. I have something to say to Lin Yuan alone." "Yes." The two female disciples of the Dao Palace realm immediately took Luo Xingxuang into the air. "Husband, I'll wait for you in the central region." Luo Xingxuang's voice faded away. As they were about to part, she no longer cared whether others would hear her words. She just wanted Lin Yuan to know her feelings. Lin Yuan gently waved his hand at the Phoenix Chariot in the sky, then, he looked at the Purple Star Saint. "Senior, do you have any other instructions?" Knowing that it was the Purple Star Saint who taught him to comprehend the sword intent, Lin Yuan's attitude towards her obviously improved a lot. "You are very good." The Purple Star Saint looked at Lin Yuan, her expression still calm. "Take these things. If you have the opportunity to break through the spiritual sea in the future, you can come to the central region to find me." After that, she took out a storage bag and threw it to Lin Yuan. "This is..." Lin Yuan took the storage bag with some curiosity. The Purple Star Saint was still there, so it was not convenient for him to check it in person, so he could only ask in confusion. "It's just a small token of my appreciation. Xingxuang fought for it for you." The token inside is a token of the Ziwei Holy Land. The Ziwei Holy Lord said calmly, "Although my Ziwei Holy Land only accepts female disciples, it has good relations with other holy lands. If you can break through the spiritual sea in the future, I can introduce you and give you a chance to join other holy lands." "Thank you, Senior." Lin Yuan bowed slightly when he saw this. The other party released the holy will to guide him to comprehend the sword will, and left him an opportunity. "Sure enough. I made the right bet." The Purple Star Saint Lord didn't say much. His figure flashed, and he directly tore through the space and returned to the Phoenix Seal. Then he crossed the void again, bringing the entire Phoenix Seal and countless masters of the Purple Star Holy Land, and disappeared in an instant. Satisfied, on the Phoenix Seal, the Purple Star Saint Lord looked at Luo Xingxuang. Luo Xingxuang blushed and lowered his head, afraid to speak, fearing that the Purple Star Saint Lord would be angry because he asked Lin Yuan for something. Since I have decided to accept you as my disciple, I will not care about these. The Purple Star Saint Lord chuckled, looked at Luo Xingxuang who was reluctant, and comforted him in a gentle voice, "Don't worry, come back with me to practice, he will have his own fate, and you will see each other again soon." Yes. Luo Xingxuang nodded heavily. Luo family, seeing the people from Ziwei Holy Land leave, Lin Yuan also planned to leave Sunset City and return to the sect. After saying goodbye to his father-in-law Luo Feng, he did not stay any longer, but directly embarked on the road back to the sect. This trip to Sunset City was an unexpected journey. Now that Luo Xingxuang has obtained the 9-star opportunity, he has also established a good relationship with Ziwei Holy Land and comprehended the 3rd-grade sword intent. The trip to Sunset City is a perfect ending. Chapter 45 Wang Teng of the Wang family, Lingxiao sword technique. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Luo Feng watched Lin Yuan leave. He knew that his daughter had this opportunity, although it might not be given by Lin Yuan, but it was definitely related to him. Moreover, his son-in-law was recognized by the Purple Way Saint, and his future was also limitless. Before Lin Yuan left, Luo Feng sent 10 high-quality spirit stones, saying that they were for Lin Yuan's travel expenses. In fact, this was almost half of the Luo family's assets now. However, Luo Feng knew that with Luo Xingxuang's joining the Purple Way Holy Land, the Luo family's status would surely rise, and it was completely worthwhile to use this money to invest in his son-in-law. Lin Yuan did not refuse, and went on the road directly after collecting the spirit stones. Not long after he left, various family forces in Sunset City came to the Luo family to seek cooperation. Now the news that Luo Xingxuang became the Purple Way Saint is known to everyone in Sunset City. Everyone knows that the Luo family is about to rise, and they also want to follow suit and tie themselves to the Luo family's big ship. In less than a day, there was an endless stream of visitors to the Luo family, and the level of liveliness completely surpassed the previous Wang family in Sunset City, and there was a faint momentum to replace it and become the strongest family in Sunset City. 3 days later, in the Wang family mansion, Wang Teng, the eldest son of the Wang family, rushed over from Xuanxu's sect after receiving the news that his father was assassinated. After listening to the details of the family servant, a hint of coldness flashed in Wang Teng's eyes. His intuition told him that his father Wang Li's backstabbing was definitely related to the Luo family and the new son-in-law. He wanted to go directly to the Luo family for trouble, but after hearing from the family servant that Luo Xingxuang, the eldest daughter of the Luo family, was now the saint of Ziwei Holy Land, Wang Teng immediately gave up this idea. Xuanxu's sect was in the westernmost part of the East Wilderness. The city near the mountain gate was often visited by merchants from the central region. Wang Teng had naturally heard of the name of the Holy Land. After knowing that Luo Xingxuang became the saint of Ziwei Holy Land, Wang Teng understood that the current Luo family was definitely not something he could touch. Once he touched the Luo family, the anger of Ziwei Holy Land, not to mention himself and the Wang family, even the Xuanxu sect behind him could not bear it at all. And the new son-in-law of the Luo family had left Sunset City 3 days ago. In desperation, Wang Teng could only order a funeral for his father, and after dealing with the affairs of Sunset City, he would make long-term plans. On the other side, it took Lin Yuan only 3 days to rush back to the Zhangtian sword sect from Sunset City. His current cultivation level is the peak of the 6th level of Qi gathering. Compared with the first time he went to Nuyan City, he has improved a lot, and his travel speed is naturally much faster. After arriving at the gate of Zhangtian sword sect, Lin Yuan took out the token representing his inner sect identity and successfully returned to the vicinity of the gate where the inner sect disciples lived. He did not go back to his residence directly. Instead, he walked towards the direction of the number 2 mansion first. In front of the number 2 mansion, Lin Yuan knocked on the door, and soon, Xu Qingyue opened the door for him with 2 dark circles under her eyes. She was still dressed in a cool outfit of tight shorts, and her smooth and slender legs were particularly eye-catching, which made Lin Yuan, who had just experienced the fun of driving on Luo Xingxuang, feel a faint fire rising in his lower abdomen. Seeing that the person coming was Lin Yuan, Xu Qingyue's originally lazy face became more energetic. Mission completed? Yes. Lin Yuan nodded, a little surprised at why Xu Qingyue looked like this, but still said calmly, "Fortunately, I have fulfilled my mission. I have killed Mo Jingtian, and the crisis of the Shen family has been successfully overcome. Come in and talk." Xu Qingyue glanced at him and vaguely felt that Lin Yuan's momentum was a little different from before, but she didn't care much, but stepped aside to make way. Lin Yuan followed Xu Qingyue into the room. At the same time, he found that compared with when he came more than half a month ago, this room seemed more messy. Xu Qingyue was still too lazy to explain, but stretched out a small hand to Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan was slightly stunned when he saw this, and then he realized that the other party should be asking for the silver anklet, so he took out the anklet from the storage bag and handed it to the other party. At this time, Xu Qingyue looked at Lin Yuan with some surprise. Xu Qingyue was a little surprised. She remembered that when Lin Yuan set out, his cultivation was only at the second level of qi condensation. It has been less than a month, and he has already reached the sixth level of qi condensation. This cultivation speed is really a bit exaggerated, so that Xu Qingyue, who is not interested in anything except alchemy, can't help but be surprised. However, Xu Qingyue's surprise only lasted for a very short moment. Although Lin Yuan's cultivation speed is very fast, it has nothing to do with him, and it is not worth asking. Wait here. After Xu Qingyue casually said a word, he walked towards the inner room of the room. Not long after, she came to Lin Yuan with an exquisite little jade bottle, handed it to him, and said, "The medicinal effect of Ning Yuan pill is easy to evaporate. Try not to open the bottle before use." "Thank you, senior sister." Lin Yuan took the little jade bottle and put it in his storage bag. "You're welcome. It's just a task commission." Xu Qingyue glanced at him lightly, and then said, "Close the door when you go out. I will go to the alchemy room to make pills in a few days. If you want to learn, you can come and help me." "Okay." Lin Yuan nodded, then turned and left Xu Qingyue's residence. Back to the courtyard, the fourth-grade Ning Yuan pill was obtained, which meant that Lin Yuan's trip ended successfully. Lin Yuan began to count his gains on this trip. Not counting the fourth-grade Duanjia talisman that he had used up, he had 25 high-grade spirit stones on this trip alone. Qin Lai had 5, the black fat man Shen Tianhong had 10 in the storage bag, plus the 10 given by his father-in-law Luo Feng, and if Xiao Miao's storage ring and those miscellaneous commonly used elixirs were counted, the amount converted into low-grade spirit stones would be close to 300,000. Add to that the fourth-grade Ning Yuan pill, which is worth more than 80,000 low-grade spirit stones. This trip to Nuyan City yielded nearly 400,000 low-grade spirit stones. This speed of making money would probably make Yuandan warriors jealous. By the way, Lin Yuan suddenly remembered that the Purple Star Saint had given him a storage bag. He had collected so many benefits on this trip that he almost forgot about it, so he hurriedly took it out to check, and found that in addition to the token with the word Ziwei printed on it, there was also a neatly bound martial arts secret book. Lingxiao Sword Art, Grade Xian Grade Upper Grade. Lin Yuan's pupils suddenly shrank, and then quickly widened. The Lord of the Holy Land was indeed extraordinary. The martial arts he took out casually were all Xian Grade Upper Grade, second only to Tian Grade martial arts. He was just about to read it carefully. At this time, the gate of the small courtyard where he lived was knocked from outside. "Lin Yuan, get out." Chapter 46, Life and Death Arena, One Sword Kills Instantly. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lin Yuan was slightly upset when he heard this. He had just returned to the sect, and someone came to cause trouble. This obviously insulting tone made him feel a little uncomfortable. Lin Yuan got up and went to the yard to open the door. After the door opened, he found that the person in front of him looked quite familiar. In addition to the inner sect attire, there was a conspicuous jade pendant with a word engraved on his waist. "Are you Lin Yuan?" Seeing Lin Yuan open the courtyard door, the young man in the inner sect attire immediately flashed a hint of undisguised murderous intent in his eyes. "Who are you?" Lin Yuan did not answer, but looked at the person with a bad face. He narrowed his eyes and vaguely felt that this person seemed a little familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere. My name is Yi Beifeng, but you are not qualified to hear my name. The young man looked at Lin Yuan coldly, his eyes gradually filled with murderous intent. I have a younger brother, who is an outer disciple of the sect. I heard that he died in your hands. After hearing Yi Beifeng's words, Lin Yuan immediately understood. No wonder he felt familiar when he saw this guy. It turned out that this Yi Beifeng was the senior brother Yi who was intercepted by him at the beginning, and the inner brother he shouted before his death. That's right. Lin Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly, and while speaking, his hand was already on the sword, ready to attack at any time. Yi Beifeng also noticed Lin Yuan's actions, but he did not intend to take action. Instead, he looked at Lin Yuan and said, Inner disciples are forbidden to fight privately. I am not here to seek revenge on you this time. After saying that, he looked at Lin Yuan with a gloomy look. Tomorrow morning, at the life and death arena, if you have any guts, I will wait for you there. Okay. Lin Yuan glanced at the other party and nodded calmly. Since the other party had come to provoke him, Lin Yuan would naturally not refuse such a challenge. Moreover, although he did not know Yi Beifeng's strength, from the aura, the other party's cultivation was far from reaching the Yuandan level. In the inner sect of the Zhangtian Sword Sect, although private fighting is forbidden, a place is provided for inner disciples to resolve grievances, that is the life and death arena. After signing the life and death agreement in the life and death arena and being approved by the sect, the two parties with grievances can have a life and death duel. In addition to being able to kill the loser, the winner can also get all the loser's property. So, Lin Yuan had no reason to refuse. Seeing this, Yi Beifeng sneered and left. The next morning, Lin Yuan arrived at the life and death arena as promised. Yi Beifeng had been waiting here with several inner disciples. He suddenly noticed, in addition to Yi Beifeng, the remaining inner disciples with him also had a waist badge with the word on their waists. Lin Yuan was a little curious. At this time, Yi Beifeng saw Lin Yuan coming and took the initiative to greet him. Without saying anything, he took Lin Yuan to sign the life and death contract. After the life and death contract was signed, the disciple in charge of the life and death arena led them to one of the arenas and told both parties that all grievances could be resolved on the arena. After that, the disciple in charge of the life and death arena left quickly. Obviously, he was afraid that the fight between the two inner brothers would affect him. This kind of thing is actually very common in the inner sect of Zhangtian Sword Sect. It is common for martial artists to have conflicts on the road of martial arts practice, so every month, many corpses are always lifted down from the life and death arena of Zhangtian Sword Sect. After Lin Yuan and Yi Beifeng took their positions, the inner disciples who came with Yi Beifeng also came over and stood by the ring, watching the fight with interest. How many moves can that new inner disciple take from senior brother Yi? I bet this guy will kill senior brother Ye's beloved brother within 3 moves. Senior brother Yi will definitely kill him directly this time. No, I bet senior brother Yi will definitely torture this guy to vent his hatred and will never let him die too easily. A group of inner disciples gathered together and discussed in a low voice. Yi Beifeng is a warrior of the 9th level of Qi gathering. Although he has not yet formed a false pill, the vortex of Yuan Qi in his body has already shown a tendency to condense into a false pill. It can be said that among the 9th level of Qi gathering, he is considered an upper-level strongman. Lin Yuan has only just entered the inner gate, less than a month. The gap between the two is almost one-sided, so these inner disciples are curious about how many moves he can take from Yi Beifeng. On the stage, Lin Yuan ignored the criticisms of the inner disciples behind his back. He looked at Yi Beifeng calmly. This person's 9th level Qi gathering cultivation was slightly inferior to the head of the Wang family in Sunset City who was severely injured by his 2 swords. Although his cultivation had not improved significantly compared to when he fought with the head of the Wang family, he had comprehended the 3rd-grade sword intent under the guidance of the Purple Star Saint. Facing Yi Beifeng, he almost didn't need to use the secret method of the 3 mysterious changes of the divine fire. Boy, if you admit defeat now, go to my brother's grave and kowtow 10 times, kneel down for him for 3 years, I can consider only abolishing your cultivation. Yi Beifeng looked at Lin Yuan. The strength of the 9th level Qi gathering made him not care about Lin Yuan's actions at all. Hearing this, Lin Yuan just glanced at him with a smile, unsheathed his sword, and held the 3-foot green blade upside down, and the whole person was emitting a shocking sword energy. Yi Beifeng was stunned when he saw this. He could feel that Lin Yuan's aura was rising steadily, and he might not be as easy to deal with as he imagined, so Yi Beifeng decided to strike first on the spot. As a disciple of the Zhangtian sword sect, he also practiced sword skills, but Yi Beifeng's sword skills were different from Lin Yuan's. He sacrificed 3 flying swords, and under the effect of Yuan Qi, the 3 flying swords were suspended in the air. Control the sword with Qi. Lin Yuan was slightly curious when he saw this. Controlling the sword with Qi is a martial art that can only be used after a warrior reaches the Qi condensation realm. This kind of martial art is not available in the first 4 levels of the Wu Pavilion. It is obviously an opportunity that Yi Beifeng himself has obtained. After Yi Beifeng sacrificed the 3 flying swords, he directly used Yuan Qi to control the flying swords and shot them towards Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan also decided to take action when he saw this. His figure shook, and the speed of the whole person suddenly exploded. Under the blessing of the 3rd-grade sword intent, the 9 sky-splitting swords burst out with extremely terrifying power. With just one sword, Lin Yuan cut down Yi Beifeng's 3 flying swords, and the aftermath of the sword even made Yi Beifeng fly backwards. Yi Beifeng was stunned. When his body fell heavily to the ground, he couldn't believe that he was defeated by Lin Yuan with just one sword. This guy. Before Yi Beifeng could think about it, Lin Yuan's figure had already arrived in front of him, with the 3-foot green sword in his hand raised, and he was about to take his life with one sword. At this time, a loud shout came from the bottom of the ring. Stop! Chapter 47 Young Master of Tianmeng, Shangguan Tianyou. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Hear this sudden roar. Lin Yuan's movements paused slightly. It wasn't that he was afraid of the other party, but he recognized the voice as that of the guy who said earlier that he couldn't take Yi Beifeng's sword. Lin Yuan looked at the other party curiously. When the man saw Lin Yuan looking at him, he hurriedly said, "You can't kill senior brother Yi." Why? Lin Yuan's tone was extremely calm. Since the 2 parties have signed a life and death contract and are standing in the life and death arena, it is a fight to the death. Naturally, it is impossible for him to show mercy to Yi Beifeng. There have long been grievances between the 2 parties. Lin Yuan would never let a person who hated him escape from him and cause trouble for him. Senior brother Yi is from our Tianmeng. If you dare to kill him, you are an enemy of our heavenly alliance. The disciple looked at Lin Yuan and threatened sternly. Celestial Alliance. That when Lin Yuan heard this name, he immediately thought of the waistbands engraved with the word on the waists of Yi Beifeng and others, and suddenly became more curious. What is the Tianmeng? Bold. The Tianmeng is an organization established by young master Shangguan Tianyou, the top expert in the inner sect. Within the inner sect, the Tianmeng is the sky. Anyone who dares to disobey the Tianmeng is an enemy of senior brother Shangguan. That the disciple looked at Lin Yuan and said coldly, "Young master Shangguan is at the 9th level of Yuan Dan. He is 1 step away from entering the Tongxian realm. If you dare to kill senior brother Yi, you will be slapping Tianmeng in the face. Young master Shangguan, I won't let you go." Oh. Lin Yuan suddenly felt a little ridiculous when he heard this. He had heard of Shangguan Tianyou's name when he was a servant disciple. However, the rules of the life and death arena are set by the sect. Even the top master of the inner sect has no right to interfere with the sect's rules. If you know what's going on, stop immediately, otherwise. What else? Lin Yuan looked at the other party. While asking questions, he quickly slashed down the 3-foot green sharp edge in his hand, and cut off Yi Beifeng's head with a casual sword movement. The inner disciple was stunned. He did not expect that Lin Yuan would dare to kill Yi Beifeng on the spot after he had already shown off his name as Tianmeng. It's not just him, several other inner disciples of Tianmeng were also stunned. After they joined the Tianmeng, they relied on the name of the Tianmeng to run rampant in the inner sect. No one dared to touch the Tianmeng's bad luck, but this Lin Yuan actually dared to kill Yi Beifeng after they took out Tianmeng's name. For Tianmeng, this is a slap in the face. You're done, Lin Yuan, I'm telling you. You're in big trouble. That it took the inner sect disciple a long time to react. He looked at Lin Yuan and said word by word, "If you offend the Tianmeng, there will be no place for you in this inner sect. Lin Yuan smiled noncommittally upon hearing this. He didn't even bother to talk to such a person. Instead, he stepped forward, found Yi Beifeng's storage bag, turned around and walked towards his residence. After discovering the Lingxiao sword technique last night, Lin Yuan only read the secret book and had no time to try to practice it. Now that I have nothing to do, it is a good time to practice this Xian-level martial arts. As for the Tianmeng, what kind of bullshit Tianmeng is? How can it be as important as practicing Xian-level martial arts on your own? Just as Lin Yuan beheaded Yi Beifeng and looted his storage bag, deep in the Zhangtian sword sect, in a small courtyard with unique scenery, a man and a woman were sitting opposite each other drinking tea. The environment of this small courtyard is very elegant, with carefully planted peach trees, antique pavilions, and an artificial stream. April is when the peach blossoms are in full bloom. The petals falling from the peach trees fall into the streams with the spring breeze, giving them a unique charm. The 4th grade Qingshu pill you entrusted me to refine has been successfully refined. The voice of the woman who spoke was cold, with a hint of coldness that could not be heard from thousands of miles away. Even sitting in this peach garden, it still made people feel like it was a cold winter. Thank you. The man's voice sounded much more comfortable. The magnetic and pleasant voice, coupled with the refreshing tone of voice, made people feel that this man should be a humble gentleman even without meeting him in person. There is an extremely sharp contrast between the two. If any inner disciples of the Zhangtian sword sect come here and see these two people, they will definitely be frightened and rush forward to salute and greet them. Among the two people, the man is Shangguan Tianyou, who is the strongest in the inner sect. He is a 9th level Yuan Dan expert and is only one step away from the Tongxian realm. The woman is Xu Qingyue, the most arrogant alchemist in the inner sect, who has reached the 5th level of Yuan Dan at the age of only 22. It's really top quality. Looking at its quality, the medicinal effect should be about 30% higher than the ordinary 4th grade Qingshu pill. Shangguan Tianyou looked at the pill box in front of him. As soon as he opened it, the strong medicinal fragrance spread in the courtyard. Even the fragrance of the peach blossoms was overwhelmed by the medicinal fragrance. Excellent. Xu Qingyue's expression was calm. After a night's rest, the dark circles on her face had disappeared, and her expressionless face was like a work of art carefully carved by God. However, her next words were not so pleasant. Reward. Shangguan Tianyou was speechless. He actually wanted to get closer to Xu Qingyue by entrusting him with alchemy this time. For this reason, Shangguan Tianyou specially invited Xu Qingyue to come to his peach blossom villa, which no one was allowed to enter, but judging from her reaction, she had no interest in this at all. Just like the peach blossom petals in the yard that were swept away by the stream, the falling flowers were intentional, but the flowing water was ruthless. I have prepared the reward, it is in this storage bag. Shangguan Tianyou handed over a storage bag, which contained the spiritual stones he had prepared long ago. Xu Qingyue took the storage bag and opened it directly in front of her without any hesitation. After counting the number of spiritual stones in it, she put away the storage bag and pretended to get up and leave. However, just as she got up, she seemed to suddenly remember something and took out 3 high-quality spiritual stones from the storage bag and put them on the table. This is... Shangguan Tianyou looked at Xu Qingyue in confusion. 3 peach branches of concentration. Xu Qingyue said expressionlessly. At this moment, a peach petal blown down by the wind fell on the tip of her hair. The peach tree in this peach garden is not an ordinary peach tree, but a peach tree of concentration cultivated by nourishing spiritual stones and the essence of monsters. Its branches have the effect of strengthening spiritual power. Concentrating peach branches. With your current alchemy cultivation, you should not need to rely on this thing to improve your spiritual power, right? Shangguan Tianyou looked at Xu Qingyue with some doubts. There is a junior brother who helped me. Yuna wrote to me and asked me to take care of him. Xu Qingyue's expression was still calm. After Shangguan Tianyou handed over the branch, he said goodbye and prepared to leave. At this time, Shangguan Tianyou said. Wait a minute. Chapter 48, The World of 10,000 Demons, the Sect's Greatest Treasure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Anything else? Xu Qingyue paused, and a hint of displeasure flashed in Ruifeng's eyes. she didn't like Shangguan Tianyou very well, especially when Shangguan Tianyou established the Tianmeng and acted domineeringly in the inner sect. She was quite displeased. The world of 10,000 demons is about to open. Shangguan Tianyou looked at Xu Qingyue's back and said suddenly. So what? Xu Qingyue turned her head and glanced at Shangguan Tianyou casually. If you want me to cooperate with your Tianmeng, it is better not to open your mouth. I have no idea of cooperating with any outsiders. Shangguan Tianyou was suddenly at a loss for words. Faced with Xu Qingyue's indifference, even though he was so well educated, the corners of his mouth twitched. After a long silence, he said, I'd better just open the skylight and speak out. You should know what the opening of the 10,000 demon realm means. The eldest lady of the Xu family in Donghuang, if it weren't for that thing, I don't believe you would be an inner disciple of the Zhangtian sword sect. Having said this, Shangguan Tianyou took a deep look at Xu Qingyue. With Xu Qingyue's background and talent, if she wanted to, she could enter the central realm at any time and become a disciple of a certain holy land, but she chose to join the Zhangtian sword sect. Obviously, I came here for the legendary thing. Aren't you the same? Xu Qingyue asked expressionlessly. The Shangguan family claims to be a genius that has never been seen in 300 years. Isn't it willing to join this little Zhangtian sword sect? Shangguan Tianyou's background is no better than his own, or even better. His family's connections are enough for him to become a disciple of the Holy Land. The Zhangtian sword sect back then was no less powerful than the Holy Land. It's a pity that the Zongzong's treasure and supreme law were lost at the same time, and it gradually declined. Shangguan Tianyou narrowed his eyes slightly and said calmly, according to the news my family has received, the ancestral treasure was left behind in the world of 10,000 demons. It's a pity that although we know that there is this treasure in the world of monsters, we don't know what this treasure is. Xu Qingyue nodded noncommittally, I know everything you said. Unfortunately, the Xu family doesn't have detailed information about that thing. The news that Shangguan Tianyou knew was similar to the news that he knew. Currently, only the top families in Donghuang knew about this news. Even the senior officials within the Zhangtian sword sect have not heard of this matter. Otherwise, they would have taken advantage of the opening of the 10,000 demon realm to search for the thing with all their efforts. It's simply no one else's turn to intervene. Xu Qingyue heard that that thing was related to the legendary Azure Dragon Supreme from the Zhangtian sword sect, but no one knew what it was, according to the information received by the Xu family and Shangguan family. It is very likely that that thing will be reborn during the opening of the 10,000 monster realm. The two of them joined the Zhangtian sword sect just to wait for this day to come. Although you and I both need this thing, in this world of monsters, if you and I form an alliance in advance, we can eliminate other competitors. How about when the dust settles, we can each use our own abilities to fight for the final ownership of that thing. Shangguan Tianyou looked at Xu Qingyue. This was the real reason why he invited her here today. Shangguan Tianyou needed that treasure to increase his influence in the family and fight for the inheritance rights of the entire family. And Xu Qingyue needs that treasure even more to regain her position in the Xu family. The two people are almost completely consistent in their stance. Unnecessary. Xu Qingyue glanced at the other party and directly revealed, you are at the 9th level of Yuan Dan. If it comes to the end, my strength at the 5th level of Yuan Dan will not be able to compete with you. You talk about an alliance, this kind of nonsense that fools children. Do you think I'm a fool? Shangguan Tianyou was speechless for a moment. In fact, what he originally thought was that if he could win over Xu Qingyue to form an alliance and develop a relationship with him in the 10,000 demon realm, and then the two of them would get married, then there would be no need to distinguish between each other. And there would be no need for the treasure of Zongzong to fall into the hands of anyone. And differences arise, Shangguan Tianyou was thinking in his heart, only children make choices. He wants them all, the most precious treasure of the Zhangtian sword sect, and Xu Qingyue, the eldest lady of the Xu family in the eastern wasteland. However, the ideal is very full and the reality is very skinny. Xu Qingyue is not even willing to form an alliance with him. So how can she talk about cultivating feelings? You should know that our Tianmeng has a large number of people, and most of the Yuandan realm warriors in the inner sect have joined the Tianmeng. Shangguan Tianyou said to Xu Qingyue, the world of monsters opens every 10 years, and every time it opens, competition will be extremely fierce. Although you are at the 5th level of Yuan Dan, your major is alchemy. If you want to stand out in this fierce competition, you must have a strong enough partner. The Tianmeng is your only choice. Are you threatening me? Xu Qingyue narrowed her eyes slightly, and a hint of coldness flashed in her eyes. She has always had a maverick personality. No matter what she does, she will only trust her own judgment, facing the threat of Shangguan Tianyou. Naturally, Xu Qingyue would not give the other party a good look. Threats are a bit too much. Shangguan Tianyou still behaved politely, but his tone was a little more serious. I think you should understand how dangerous there is in the world of monsters. That thing is hidden in the deepest part of the 10,000 demon realm. Without the Heavenly Alliance to clear the way for you, it would be difficult for you to enter the core area by your own strength. At most, I can promise that at the last moment, I will use my 5th level Yuan Dan strength to fight you one-on-one to decide the ownership of this thing. No need, I appreciate your kindness. Xu Qingyue looked at Shangguan Tianyou, her pair of ruefeng eyes narrowed slightly, paused for a moment, and then said calmly, I will only fight for what I want with my own hands. If you use this to threaten me, then there will be no need for us to interact in the future. After that, Xu Qingyue turned around again and prepared to leave. Qingyue, Shangguan Tianyou suddenly became anxious, stood up and looked in the direction of Xu Qingyue. It has been 5 years since you and I joined the Zangtian Sword Sect. In these 5 years, don't you understand my feelings for you? That a disgusting look flashed across Xu Qingyue's eyes, and she said something that directly broke Shangguan Tianyou's defense. The function of Qingshu pill is to suppress the evil fire generated by the dual cultivation of martial arts. Brother Shangguan, please respect yourself. Goodbye. Xu Qingyue turned around again, and just after walking a few steps, a reckless young man rushed into the peach blossom courtyard with a nervous face. Young master, something bad has happened. Chapter 49, Gathering Qi at the 6th level, you can kill with just a wave of your hand. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The young man is also dressed in the attire of an inner disciple, with a waistband symbolizing the identity of the Tianmeng hanging around his waist. Xu Qingyue had no intention of paying attention at first, but paused for a moment and glanced at the two of them casually. Upon seeing this, Shangguan Tianyou looked slightly unhappy. The discussion between him and Xu Qingyue was not pleasant to begin with, but when this person interfered with it, the atmosphere became even more awkward, making him feel inexplicably irritated. How is it appropriate to panic? Shangguan Tianyou glanced at the visitor, snorted coldly and said, didn't you see I have guests here? The young man immediately fell silent. After Shangguan Tianyou reminded him, he noticed that there were guests in the courtyard. After recognizing Xu Qingyue, he quickly saluted and said, I have met senior sister Qingyue. Xu Qingyue nodded lightly, no need to be polite. The young man looked at Xu Qingyue with some curiosity. This was the first time he had the opportunity to talk to senior sister Qingyue up close. Countless disciples of the Zangtian Sword Sect secretly regarded her as the lover of their dreams. However, Xu Qingyue never pretended to be nice to these people. Tell me, why are you so panicked? Shangguan Tianyou glanced at the young man, his tone full of disdain. Back to young master, an inner disciple named Lin Yuan openly killed people from our Tianmeng League. The young man replied. When he mentioned Lin Yuan, he saw Xu Qingyue's eyes moving slightly, and he suddenly asked curiously, Senior sister Qingyue, do you recognize Lin Yuan? What does it have to do with you? Xu Qingyue glanced at the other person, and in her plain eyes, there was an invisible sense of alienation that was thousands of miles away, which made the young man speechless. However, Xu Qingyue was secretly surprised. If she remembered correctly, when they met yesterday, Lin Yuan should have been at the 6th level of Qi gathering. She had also heard of Yi Beifeng. It was said that he was at the 9th level of Qi gathering and was about to hit the Yuan Dan realm. Did not expect, Lin Yuan actually killed Yi Beifeng at the 9th level of Qi gathering in the arena of life and death. Lin Yuan, Shangguan Tianyou frowned slightly. he frowned and said, "What kind of cultivation is this, Lin Yuan?" That the young man said, "Go back to the young master and gather the 6th level of qi." Shangguan Tianyou was stunned. 6th level of qi gathering. A disdainful smile appeared on his face. I thought he was some kind of strong man. He is only at the 6th level of qi gathering. I can kill him with just a raise of my hand. After saying this, he waved his hand towards the young man. Stand back. If anyone dares to touch my Tianmeng, I will deal with them. Yes, the young man's expression perked up. He turned around and quickly left the peach blossom courtyard. For the sake of previous transactions, I would like to give you a friendly reminder. Xu Qingyue did not look back. She turned her back to Shangguan Tianyou and said in a calm tone, "Don't underestimate junior brother Lin Yuan. Although he is in the qi gathering realm, if you underestimate him, you will definitely suffer a big loss." "Is it?" Shangguan Tianyou smiled disdainfully and said, "He is just an ant at the 6th level of qi gathering. No matter how strong he is, he can still stir up huge waves. Whatever you want, take your leave." Xu Qingyue strode away after saying that. She didn't know why, but she always had an inexplicable premonition that Shangguan Tianyou would probably suffer a big loss from Lin Yuan, but seeing Shangguan Tianyou's attitude, Xu Qingyue didn't bother to say anything more. 3 days later, in Lin Yuan's small courtyard at the mountain gate where the inner disciples live. At this time, Lin Yuan was practicing the Lingxiao sword art. These were the martial arts skills left in the storage bag that Holy Lord Ziwei left for him before he left. Xian level high-grade martial arts. After 3 days of practice, Lin Yuan has made some gains in Lingxiao sword art. This sword art is very special. Logically speaking, ordinary Xian level martial arts can only be used after at least Tong Xian level, but Lingxiao sword art has no such requirements. It requires only one thing: those who want to use this martial art must understand the sword's intention. The Lingxiao sword technique is very similar to the 9 heaven-splitting swords, and is also divided into 9 styles. Each sword technique corresponds to the level of sword intention. In other words, only by understanding the first-grade sword intention can one perform the first move of Lingxiao sword technique. Lin Yuan now understands the 3rd-level sword intention, so he can use the first 3 moves of Lingxiao sword technique. Only when he makes another breakthrough in understanding the meaning of the sword can he start practicing the next moves. However, having said that, but the Lingxiao sword technique is, after all, a high-level martial skill at the Xian level. The higher the level of the martial skill, the more difficult it is to comprehend. It took Lin Yuan 3 full days to master the first 2 moves of Lingxiao sword technique. As for the 3rd move, he was just getting started. This Lingxiao sword technique is only the 3rd form. To perform it, it is already more difficult than the Jingtian sword. Lin Yuan was secretly surprised, but he felt relieved when he thought that the Lingxiao sword technique was a Xian-level martial art after all. After he stopped for a moment to recover his energy, he stood up and prepared to continue practicing. The courtyard where the inner disciples live is much wider than that of the outer disciples. In the courtyard, there are also iron ingots and marbles used to test the power of martial arts. Therefore, Lin Yuan now does not need to go to the back mountain to practice martial arts like he did at that time. He was preparing to continue practicing. At this time, the door of the courtyard was knocked from outside. Lin Yuan stood up and opened the door, and found that the person who came was Xu Qingyue. Today, Xu Qingyue was not wearing her iconic shorts, but a fiery red dress. There were flame patterns hidden on the dress, which made her already hot figure even more imaginative. "Senior sister Qingyue, what's the matter?" Lin Yuan looked at Xu Qingyue with some curiosity. He didn't expect that the other party would take the initiative to visit him. 7 days from now, the world of 10,000 demons opened by the Zhangtian sword sect every 10 years is about to open. You, team up with me. Xu Qingyue's tone was very natural. She seemed to have never thought that Lin Yuan would reject her, and she said it naturally. The world of 10,000 demons. Lin Yuan was slightly startled when he heard the name. When he was a handyman at the time, he once heard the sloppy old man from the martial pavilion say that every time the 10,000 monster realm opens, it is a great opportunity that the inner disciples will encounter once in 10 years. The young inner disciples stood out from the world of monsters. Of course, Every time the 10,000 demon realm is opened, many inner geniuses die in it. It can be said that crisis and opportunity coexist, so, Lin Yuan had already heard about the upcoming opening of the 10,000 demon realm, and had even started making preparations in advance. He practices the Lingxiao sword technique in order to achieve better results in the world of monsters. Facing Xu Qingyue's invitation, Lin Yuan hesitated a little. In the world of 10,000 monsters, it is naturally a good thing to have a Yuandan warrior accompanying you, but Lin Yuan's purpose in entering the world of 10,000 demons was different from others. He was not looking for opportunities, but to find those who were about to gain opportunities. If you work hard to find an opportunity, how can you intercept other people's opportunities so happily? The Jiehu system is his biggest trump card, so Lin Yuan will naturally not let others know that he can see the line of opportunity. Even Xu Qingyue is no exception, so, after he pondered for a moment, he said to Xu Qingyue, "I'm sorry, senior sister, I don't plan to form an alliance with anyone this time." "Why? You are a powerful person at the 5th level of Yuan Dan. If our alliance goes all the way to the end, I will not be able to compete with you at the 6th level of Qi gathering." After hearing this, Xu Qingyue turned around and left. Although she was surprised, she couldn't help but look at Lin Yuan slightly because of his words. Lin Yuan's reason for rejecting her was exactly the same as when she rejected Shangguan Tianyou. It seems, this guy is also a thoughtful person. After Xu Qingyue left, Lin Yuan continued to practice the Lingxiao sword art in the courtyard. He wants to fully master the 3rd form of the Lingxiao sword technique before the 10,000 demon realm opens. In the blink of an eye, 7 days passed. After practicing hard all night, Lin Yuan was finally able to send and receive the 3rd form of Lingxiao sword technique freely. At this time, one after another, magnificent bells rang from every corner of the sect. Lin Yuan knew that these bells represented, the world of 10,000 demons is about to open. Chapter 50 Xu Qingyue's Warning. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lin Yuan immediately rushed to the opening location of the 10,000 monsters realm. Yesterday, the disciples of the Internal Affairs Hall came to inform Lin Yuan that the 10,000 monsters realm would open a teleportation array at the main peak of the Tianyou sword sect, so that all inner disciples would gather on time. After hearing the bell. Arriving at the main peak, Lin Yuan was a little surprised. The requirement for the Tianyou sword sect to promote inner disciples is to reach the Qi gathering realm in martial arts. Lin Yuan originally thought that there were not many warriors in the Qi gathering realm in the sect, but he did not expect that the entire main peak was crowded with people. There were thousands of warriors wearing inner disciples' attire, or even more. At this time, all the inner disciples gathered at the steps of the main peak. Lin Yuan walked into the crowd and felt a little dizzy. Among these thousands of people, most of the warriors had the bright words of opportunity on their heads. This person has been very lucky recently and is about to get a 4-star opportunity. This person has been very lucky recently and is about to get a 5-star opportunity. This person. Countless words of opportunity appeared above the heads of these inner disciples, and Lin Yuan was jealous. This 10,000 monsters realm is really a good place. Lin Yuan thought secretly in his heart. Although the old man in Wu Pavilion said that crises and opportunities coexist in the 10,000 monsters realm, he did not enter the 10,000 monsters realm to find opportunities. His purpose, naturally, it is to intercept other people's opportunities. Since crises and opportunities coexist, who will go to hell if I don't? Let me become a crisis and temper these fellow disciples. Lin Yuan thought so in his heart. While he patiently waited for the 10,000 monsters realm to open, he secretly memorized the appearance of those who had opportunities on their heads, so that he could find these lucky people as soon as he entered the 10,000 monsters realm. At the same time, Lin Yuan discovered a detail: not all inner disciples were about the same age as him. There was actually a big age gap between the inner disciples waiting at the bottom of the stairs. Among these people, there were many middle-aged people who looked to be over 30 or 40 years old. It seems that these people have relatively average talents. They haven't reached the level of Tongxian at the age of 40. I'm afraid it will be difficult for them to break through the Yuandan realm in the future. Lin Yuan thought secretly in his heart, but he did not despise these warriors because of this. On the contrary, he became alert in his heart. The 10,000 monsters realm of the Zhangtian sword sect is open once every 10 years. Those older inner disciples may have participated in the 10,000 monsters realm more than once, compared with the warriors who participated in the 10,000 monsters realm for the first time. These experienced guys are more dangerous. They know that it is difficult to break through the Tongxian, so they put most of their energy on martial arts. Their combat effectiveness is stronger than that of warriors who have just entered the Juqi or Yuandan realm. While Lin Yuandong looked around to find out the situation, not far away, a beautiful figure who was isolated from the world attracted the attention of the people around. Today, Xu Qingyue was wearing a goose-yellow dress and her curly hair was casually tied up. She looked a little lazy, but her eyes were still sharp, making people around her unconsciously make way for a 2 or 3 meter wide open space. Xu Qingyue's skirt was very short, not even reaching her knees, and her 2 flawless long legs were exposed to the air. However, but no one dared to sneak a peek at these beautiful legs with dirty eyes. Not long after Xu Qingyue broke through the Yuandan realm, an old-fashioned inner sect senior brother of the Yuandan realm, who was proud of his strong martial arts cultivation, once stared at her beautiful legs and drooled. As a result, that day, the Yuandan senior brother was dragged to the life and death arena by Xu Qingyue, who had just entered the Yuandan realm, and his eyes were forcibly dug out. The Yuandan senior brother abandoned his cultivation and begged for mercy, and only then did he survive by chance. Unfortunately, on his way down the mountain, he happened to meet robbers, and was coincidentally killed and robbed by the robbers. At that time, Xu Qingyue happened to go down the mountain to purchase medicinal herbs for alchemy. Those who understand understand. From that day on, the inner disciples dared not have any blasphemous thoughts towards Xu Qingyue. When they saw senior sister Qingyue on weekdays, they would take the initiative to avoid suspicion. At this time, Xu Qingyue noticed Lin Yuan in the crowd. After a moment of hesitation, she took the initiative to walk towards Lin Yuan. "Lin Yuan, follow me." Xu Qingyue's voice was very plain, but it caused a cry of surprise from the inner disciples around. They all guessed who was the person who could be approached by senior sister Qingyue. Lin Yuan was a little curious when he heard it, so he followed with big strides. "What do you want, senior sister Qingyue?" Lin Yuan looked at Xu Qingyue, and his eyes lit up slightly. It must be said that although her outfit today was not as hot as her usual tight shorts, it added a touch of hazy beauty that she had never had before. "It's not an order, I'm just kindly reminding you." Xu Qingyue's expression was still calm, as if nothing could arouse her interest except the alchemy. "Please speak, senior sister." Lin Yuan hurriedly made a gesture of listening attentively, and secretly thought in his heart that if it was an alliance, he would never agree. "Do you know the Tianmeng?" Xu Qingyue didn't care about Lin Yuan's expression, but asked directly. "I know. The leader of the Tianmeng is Shangguan Tianyou, who is the strongest person ranked first in the inner sect. Since he founded the Tianmeng, he has become the bully of the inner sect. No one in the inner sect dares to go against the Tianmeng." Xu Qingyue continued, and then glanced at Lin Yuan casually. "You killed Yi Beifeng, which is a slap in the face of the Tianmeng. Shangguan Tianyou has set a reward. In the 10,000 monsters realm, no matter who is a disciple of the Heavenly Alliance, as long as he kills you, he will be rewarded with 100,000 low-grade spirit stones." 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. Lin Yuan was slightly stunned after hearing this. He didn't expect that Shangguan Tianyou would be so generous and offer a reward of 100,000 low-grade spirit stones for a 6th-level Qi condensation warrior. You know, this amount of spirit stones is enough to hire someone to assassinate a Yuandan warrior. "That's right, now the disciples of the Heavenly Alliance are watching you." Xu Qingyue's expression was still calm, looking at Lin Yuan and said, "If you change your mind and form an alliance with me, as long as you don't meet Shangguan Tianyou, I can keep you safe." "Thank you for your concern, senior sister." Lin Yuan looked at Xu Qingyue deeply, then shook his head and said, "But I still don't have the idea of forming an alliance with others." Xu Qingyue didn't say anything more after hearing this. She had done her best to tell Lin Yuan about the Heavenly Alliance. At this time, the high-level members of the Heavenly Sword Sect gradually arrived. She stopped talking and waited quietly for the opening of the world of monsters. The elders of the Heavenly Sword Sect read out a long and boring notice as usual. and finally announced the official opening of the world of monsters. After that, the inner disciples of the Heavenly Sword Sect began to enter the teleportation array in batches. Soon, it was Lin Yuan's turn.